Hello and welcome to Women in Position, the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. This is where women walk in purpose and they live in this destiny, and they do that on purpose. And I'm so excited to have this beautiful young woman as our special guest today, Miss Kristen Hill. She is a leader, a storyteller. She's a mentor to women, and her unique gift is styling women in fashion to help them lead better and build their confidence. So please welcome to the stage, Miss Kristen Hill.
Hi, Renee. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are a fascinating young woman. I've looked at viewed your
Thank
LinkedIn
you.
profile, saw some of your posts, and just encouraging words and your own journey. I'd love to hear about it and how you got into style and fashion and all of those good things. So give us a little background, and then we'll go into some questions.
Okay, so I will say that my retail career started when I was 20. I'm 40 now. So I've been in retail for about 20 years. And I knew I was kind of like hesitant on what I wanted to do. Like, did I want to go to school or do I want to just work? And my parents like, you're going to school. And I'm like, okay. And so I kind of got into retail by accident, literally. My sophomore year, I was headed to school, first day of class, getting off the expressway, and I run into the back of a car. And my parents thought I had insurance. I only had liability. So my
Mhm.
car is gone. So how am I going to get to school? So I end up, I would take rides to school, and it just wasn't working out. So I decided that I would get a job in retail and get my car. And so that's how I ended up at Children's Place. And I got the sales associate position there, and I worked my way up to assistant manager.
Yeah, cool. How cool is that? Wonderful, wonderful. Hate that you had to have that wreck and do all of that, but who knew that incident in your life would lead to a long, career that you're happy in. Then
Mm-hmm.
so
Yes.
how do we use fashion? Well, you use fashion as a leadership tool in what you do. So many people see
Mm-hmm.
fashion as simply what we wear, but you built your
Yeah.
very lucrative career, I would say, in helping women see it as something much more deeper. You say it helps build your confidence, and so how do you style people in that, and how can personal style actually increase our confidence and build our leadership presence?
So it's my passion to help customers feel good and look good. And I always say, like, when people come through that door, they're in the store to buy something. They came to the store with purpose. So
Yeah,
it's our job to make sure they leave feeling good. And I think most of the time, like, we don't really think about how style affects our everyday lives. Like, when you got on that new pair of shoes or that new dress and you're like strutting your stuff, you feel so confident and ready
yeah,
to take on the day. And so I say every day is your runway.
yeah.
And I feel like that's just something that everybody should live by. Especially if you're trying to have a successful career in retail, people look to you for how you dress and if you can dress so you can help them. I've had numerous customers say, "Oh my God, you look so good! Like, can you style me?" And that's part of what makes me successful.
Yeah, that's so cool. I loved going into department stores, and I mentioned in a previous conversation that we were having is that my daughter actually started in Macy's, and I used to just love the discounts. But but even though even in that though, it was like I love the counters, like the cologne counter, the makeup counters, all the variety of counters there in a department store, um, because the women just always look so put together. Like they just look so put
Hmm.
together in their black or in their whatever, and even the women that were working in the different departments, they just all look so. I always use the term polished. I love a polished look
Yes, polished
because
look. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you approach someone to get, to ask a question or get their opinion about something, I'm not gonna go and ask somebody that's looking not looking right, right? So I'm gonna go to the person that is has this carrying this confidence and this what is it? It's a certainty that they know what they're talking about. Like you can see that they have the
Mhm.
knowledge that you're looking for. So
Mhm.
and so
Mhm.
when you talk about um, every day being your runway, to me that's you should write a book like you should write that's a good book title. I don't know if
You
you've
think
written a book
so?
yet. Yeah, every day is your one day. That is huge. That's so powerful because I'm actually thinking about, fashion shows and how they have people on both sides seated, towards the runway aisle and all of
Mhm.
that. And people are
Mhm.
just going ooh and ah and the lights, camera, action and all of that stuff. And so what if we really treated life like that? Every day is a runway.
Mhm.
What if you can speak more on that and the opportunities in that if we viewed our life like that.
I feel like since I've lived my life this way, I feel like that's what's contributed to my success.
Mhm.
Just because it's opened doors for me that I don't think I would have walked through if I didn't put my best foot forward. And I feel like when you look your best, like you're gonna go and dominate the day, and people are gonna look at you like they notice you, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Oh my God, she is so pretty! Like, I just want to go up to her." And then you get compliments, and that helps build your confidence. And I always say everybody has something that you can compliment on. And so in retail, when I come up to a customer, I always look to see, what they have on or something that I think is pretty, and I compliment them. And that kind of opens the door for trust for me to help them. So I
Yeah.
think, just
Yeah.
people build their confidence as well.
That's good. That's good. So you said something else. This could be a chapter in your book. You said dominate the day. That's that's
Mhm.
that's so good. So it's like if the runway is your, every day is a runway, then you can dominate the day. You can have control over that.
Mhm.
And that's not just, just not with your dress, but it's like what are you choosing to think about? How, are you going to be positive today? Are you if something happens, um how are you going to look at a thing? So when we think about that, as a leader because you lead teams in retail, you've grown teams,
Mhm.
you've led teams. So how do you help your employees? First of all, how do you dominate your day, and then how do you help your team members dominate the day?
So something like I said, it starts at home first, getting ready, trying on what you think is gonna look good for the day. And so I start my day like that. And I think what's most important in retail or any place you work, you gotta have a to-do list. The to-do list, write down everything that you have to get done that day, that week, what you hope to accomplish that month, and then just break it down. And if you don't get through that list by the end of the day, roll it over to the next day. And I
Yeah,
think just having a purpose with a structure and a goal for yourself helps you dominate instead of waiting. And I think when that spills over to my team, they see me as an example. So they want to do it as well.
yeah,
And I think that's so important for you to lead someone else is to have a to do list.
yeah. That's good. That's good. So what's the most important lesson you've learned about leading people in a way that inspires? Because I'm sure you all have sales goals, right? And
Mhm.
yeah, and so what lessons have you learned, or what do you do to inspire your team to help reach those goals and they come ready, like they're coming to work and they're ready. So
I think positive reinforcement is always the best way to go. So, setting the goal and letting them know what you expect of them, and just giving them a goal to achieve. And I think most times, I've had bad managers, so I always prided myself on I'm not going to be one of those managers. Like, do as I say and do it this way,
Yeah,
because there's no right or wrong way to do most things. Like, just because you do it this way doesn't mean I can't do it this way and get the same result. So I think just empowering them to make their own decisions, empowering them to make their goals, and empowering them to look good and feel good when they come to work. So that way we all feel good. And a
yeah,
customer can feel that when they walk into a room. Like you can feel when there's animosity or a bad vibe in the store. And that's a culture that I do not want to create. And I think me having bad managers kind of helped me with that.
yeah. That's that's one thing people um I think don't always, because I'm like you, I learned what not to do from some people I've had to report to, right? It's like I know when I get in that role
Mm-hmm.
or when I get to that level, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. So bad managers really teach you what not to do. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And so
yes, yes.
yeah, yeah, because I think you're saying that you empower your team to make decisions, and that you're building the leader in them, right? And I'm working on a book
Mm-hmm.
now that's going to be out this fall called Leadership at Every Level. And it's like everybody can be a leader at the organization, at the store, at the
Mm-hmm.
department, in the department. All of us are leaders. It's there may be
Yes.
as manager of that department is your job to make sure that you see what your team needs, and it seems like that's what you do very successfully. How can someone transition from a bad manager to become a good manager? First of all, and how can you help them see that? You ever thought about that?
I think it's just about I know it's having those tough conversations. Because even though I was the store manager in a store, I had other assistant managers, and I've had a few assistant managers that weren't that good. So, having a conversation, because sometimes people just don't know or they don't realize that this is how people view them. And I think, in retail or any place of business, you have to have those tough conversations.
Yeah,
And I think, that's the first step. And after that, just giving positive reinforcement like, hey, I saw you coach her in the moment. Great job. And then that builds their confidence. Well, if I did it that way, I'm going to do it like this again. And
yeah,
so I think that's just, part of like helping somebody recognize their potential. Because you don't have to be mean, you don't have to be bossy, you don't have to like demand. That's
yeah,
not my leadership style. I pride myself on servant leadership, and that
yeah,
means serving your employees. You work for them basically, and you when you have a servant's heart, you tend to grow your business. Like everything comes falls in place. Your sales fall in place. You have a great culture in your store. Everything just lines up. And I think that, God being on my side and me being a servant leader, I think that's what made me most successful. And I think having those tough conversations, because I haven't always made the right decisions. And
yeah,
luckily, somebody told me, hey, Kristen, maybe you should do it this way. And I
yeah.
learned from that. And that's what makes you a good manager.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's so good. Yeah, I've created something. It's like a little mini course called the Learning Leader, and because I think
Mm-hmm.
we all, as I don't care what your position is, what your title is, that we all have space to continue to grow. I mean, imagine if this was
Mm-hmm.
my apex. It's not like I if this is my ceiling, right? And I'm like, there's just so
Mm-hmm.
much more. There's so much more to be learned. There's so much more I can contribute. And I love that you said you lead. That you really see your job as supporting your people, supporting your team, building
Mm-hmm.
that culture and of unity, because people can pick up, customers can pick up on discord very easily. And one of the worst things that I've encountered, just even in a grocery store, is when two employees, two or three employees talking about sister girl on the other end of the store, or somebody else, and they're,
Yeah.
they're talking. They're talking loud. They don't care, and it's like, seriously, like, you really, like, I'm accustomed
Yeah.
about your employee, your coworker, and like, as if that's okay. And I think that
Right.
some of this, yeah, there's some of this bad behavior that we see sometimes. It's like, the first thing I want to know, okay, who managing this store? Because, like, why is
I know. Like,
I
what
don't,
kind of culture is she building?
right, right. And so it's just like, it's so unnecessary, and it's so, as a customer, I don't want to hear that. I want to be greeted.
Mhm.
Customer service matters to me. I won't go back to a store if I feel I've had bad customer service, or if I feel like
Mhm.
people are, I just don't like chaos, and I don't like bad vibes, right? And so it will
Right.
keep customers away. And so, building, like you said, building that culture is so important, so important. So, yeah. So when you think of yourself as, from being a manager to a mentor, like, so you are a manager, right? You want to share what you currently
Yes.
do? Yeah.
Sure. So, I'm currently the department manager in women's at Dillard. So, I've been there for a little over a month. So it's a new start for me. I've always worked in small boutiques and never a department store. So this is on a much grander scale. I have the entire upstairs level in Dillard. So if you've ever been in Dillard's and you've seen the women's department, you know it's huge. So I'm ready for the challenge, and that's why I took on this role because I just wanted something new and something challenging and something I've never done before. And so far, so good. I love it. So I think it was the best decision I made.
Good, good. So, but this, so in addition to this new move that you recently made, you've had those opportunities where, as a manager, you also kind of became people's mentor, some of your team's mentor. So you served as leader, mentor, storyteller, and author. So, looking back over your journey, what is one piece of wisdom you consistently share with women who want to grow in their careers, like you're growing? Like you said, this is a whole new thing, from boutique to department store,
Hmm.
and it's especially a
Yes.
company like Dillard's, that we love. That
Hmm.
I personally love going to Dillard's. And so, so what's one wisdom nugget that you share, and have over your career?
I used to have a mentor. I haven't talked to her in years, but people come into your life for a season and for a reason, and I enjoyed every moment of it. And she used to say, "Do the work. Nobody can deny the work." And that was so powerful to me because if you put in the work, nobody can discredit you. And you have a long history of working hard. Everything you want to come into fruition will happen. You just have to do the work. So when she said, do the work, nobody can deny the work, that stuck with me. So, yeah.
That is such great wisdom. No one can deny the work. They may want to discount you, but they can't say, "Oh no, yeah." The work will speak for itself. The work will speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. That's so good. So, just this, my podcast is Women in Position, and I believe that God positions us and places us in positions in corporate America, or in the marketplace, I would just say, to because it could be global. So, um,
Yeah.
how do you handle with care, knowing, because you mentioned, that God will definitely elevate you and take care of you and all of those things. So how do you handle and care for the position that He has placed you in, and lead with your faith? I'm not, you're not going around telling people to trying to change what their belief is, but your faith literally stands out and guides you through your day to day. So knowing
Mhm.
that you're in that position, how do you handle it with care?
So I handle it with care. Like everything that I do, even when I'm uncertain, like the moments I was uncertain in retail, I would go to my car on break and I would just pray. And I would ask him to move on my behalf, or should I go this way? Like I would pray before I make a decision. And I feel like he's led me every step of the way. Like I said, where I am now, I think it was a great decision, and I wouldn't be there if I hadn't prayed and talked to him to make sure it was time for me to move. And when God says move, you move. And I think that's what's helped me, listening to His voice and just being obedient to His word. I think that's what has really kept me.
That's so good. That's good. You're very rooted in your faith, and I made a post on LinkedIn, I think some months ago, about I used to think you had to separate your faith early on in my career, in my late 20s, like separate your faith from your position and from your work or whatever. And then I realized, no, this is just who I am, and I'm
Mhm.
not one of those, hollering Jesus or anything else all the time on my job, or never been that way. But I remember being applauded or recognized for something that we did well, our team did well. And one thing that I told my boss at the time, I said, I carried this with me by understanding that to whom much is given, much is required, and
Tired.
that if
Mhm.
if if the good Lord gave it to me, then I'm going to be a good steward. And I believe in
Mhm.
stewardship. You know what I mean? I believe that,
Mhm.
because I believe that when we're in position to be a blessing to other people, like you're a manager, you're a leader, and we hold the power to hire, fire, give raises, demote. That's a lot of,
Mhm.
think about the power that you're given. The level of
Mhm.
autonomy. That you have to really steward that well. And I know I couldn't do it if I didn't consult God on, and pray and really care. Even when you have to make transitions and shifts or try a new strategy, I pray for all of those things, because I number
Mhm.
one, I feel like I don't want to waste time. And so I know the
Mhm.
good Lord knows everything. So I'm gonna pray and really, because I want to make the right decision. Because like you said, we all
Right.
have made decisions before as leaders, and we've learned the
Mhm.
lesson, right? And so
Mhm.
so I believe that I so believe in the scripture that when we acknowledge the Lord, that He will direct our paths. And
Mhm.
and I think that that's the one thing that I lean into. I lean into that
Mhm.
in order to be successful, and I know it contributed to the success that I've seen in my own career, and I can see that it definitely contributes has contributed to your success as well. So yeah.
Mhm.
So one
And to
last
piggyback
question.
off
One last
what you said, to to piggyback off what you said, she used my mentor used to always, I'm gonna have to call her after this interview. She would always say shift and shift again. And so that was so powerful to me too, like because if it's not working, then there's a whole nother way you can go. And you just keep shifting until you find that right fit. And I think that really,
yeah.
really, really gave me um the experience and the knowledge that I needed to be successful is shift and shift again. So I'm definitely gonna have to call her.
Yeah. After, can you put that in your book? You see, I'm really trying to get you to write that book, girl.
Well,
You
I
know,
do have a book. It's called Favor in Retail, and I wrote it about
oh,
my Yeah, favor in retail. Um, it started with my journey, and I put a little bit of tips for people that want to get into management. People think it's just folding clothes and doing like cleaning up and putting stuff back in order, but it's so much more than that. Like you have to do payroll, you have to do sales, you have to clean, you have to hire, you have to fire, you have all these many jobs, and they say that retail is the Harvard of jobs, basically, because you are so many people in one job title. So I think that that is what helps me like to be successful, is the fact that I can maneuver all these many roles and
Yeah,
do it flawlessly. That's what my career has helped me do.
that's so great. So we are going to have definitely have a link to your book. Can they purchase that book online?
Yes, they can. Just hit the link and I'll send you the link. So,
Okay, yes, yes, it'll be in the show notes. So yes,
yeah.
we will definitely include that. I gotta get that. I'm gonna order that. I really would like to see that. I was thinking, have you ever read The 1 Minute Manager?
No,
Can't remember who
no.
it's by right now. But it's just like a little pocket book, like pocket sized book rather. And I would go to that book. I probably read it. I don't know how many times, and I don't know why I can't think of the author's name. But I was thinking that along the new book that you're gonna write about the everyday is a runaway. I was thinking that if you
You're speaking it into existence.
it's such a great little quick win for people. It's like it can really you should really check it out. The 1 Minute Manager. It may be on audiobook or maybe in a PDF too now. But it's just a quick little things that you can do as a manager, especially as
Mhm.
new managers. I think all new managers should probably read that. But I was thinking about you when you were talking about retail being the Harvard of business because you have to do so many things and you have to navigate all of
Mhm.
those. You have to navigate them well. And
Mhm.
because otherwise and you could easily fail and you could easily say, oh, it's just too much, it's too much. But it sounds like you really steward your time well, you manage your time. And so and that's what made me think about the 1 Minute Manager, because you have to manage your time, because it's like on
Mhm.
the cover of the book it's like a stopwatch or something, but it's about managing your time, and so that you can get the best out of your people, get the best out of the day, and not be wasteful and not waste time. So
Right.
I can definitely
Right.
how that thought of shift and shift again makes so much sense. So
Mhm.
yeah. Well, any closing words of wisdom or anything you'd like to say to the many women listening to this podcast?
I would just say follow God's voice, work hard, treat life it like it's your runway, and those things working together, you'll be successful. And I think the main thing is being like steadfast in your faith. And I think that's what's helped me, get to where I am. Because without him, I would not be here. And I give him all the glory.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. So listen, I just thought about this because this podcast episode is entitled "Position to Empower Through Style." So you do style people as well, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So we can connect with people who listen to this who are in this area, and I'm sure you can do it virtually too. Really help
I
women with
could.
yeah. Do you
I
ever do any
could.
virtual style workshops?
No, I haven't. I have to look into that. That's a great idea.
I know it is. It is.
Look, we're gonna have to get together so I can pick your brain.
Absolutely, absolutely. And since I know where you are, that you're in this area, that I'm gonna drive. I actually went to your store probably of last year to get a dress and to look for
Mhm.
a ball, like a formal dress. So, but anyway, I will be down there to visit you soon and
Yes.
everything. But I would love for people who are interested in getting your services to help style them. We'll have a link so
Mhm.
you can reach Kristen. We'll have all her social media handles available to you, and you can reach out to her directly and email her. So, Kristen, thank you so much. It's been a joy. You are a lovely,
Thank you, Renee.
beautiful, beautiful young woman. And I really pray
Thank
that God
you.
just continues to elevate you and that He extends your reach. You know, He really does enlarge your territory to reach so many more people because you have a beautiful
Mhm.
heart and you definitely a servant
Thank
leader
you.
show. So
Thank
thank you
you
so
so
much for being
much.
a part. Listen,
Thank
y'all tune
you.
into the next Women in Position podcast. We want you to continue to walk in purpose. Never be afraid. Be like Kristen. Take on the confidence. Every day is a runway. And here's the thing. Listen, life is life, and right? It's going to continue to life, but take advantage of every day. Look at it as a beautiful runway that you can just walk down. You can be confident. Let people look at you. Let your light so shine so that
Yes.
people will see your good works and they will glorify the Father which is in heaven. So let your light shine. That's what I'm going to end with on today. Kristen, thank you again. Y'all have a great rest of your day. God bless.
Thank